Don't miss this week's newest releases for Age of Sigmar.
Spiky bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today, checking out the brand new, well, not really brand new, the newly reboxed models for Age of Sigmar this week. Of course, we've got Juggernaut Vanus Hammerhand for the Stormcast Eternals and Korghos Kul and Bloodsecrator for the mighty forces of Khorne here. Now, of course, you will remember, these aren't exactly new models. These are newly reboxed models that came in the starter set for Games Workshop, the traditional Age of Sigmar starter set, about 2 years ago this summer, as a matter of fact, being in 2017. But also out this week is the Thunder and Blood that's going to be in a separate video, which contains all of the other models from the same starter set, the Age of Sigmar starter set, just recast in different colors here. So this plus these two right here equals the Age of Sigmar starter set. So Age of Sigmar starter set goes for $125 retail. This new Thunder and Blood box set goes for $80 retail, and each of these HQ boxes or HQ character sets go for $40 retail from Games Workshop. So we all know Games Workshop's really good at selling us things over and over again in different formats. However, there is a little bit of value in this one with a vinyl playmat and a graphic box up here and some different colored sprues. Is that juice worth the squeeze, or do you just buy the starter set? I don't know. That's for you to decide. But as long as we keep buying the stuff, Games Workshop will definitely start or keep making it, I suppose, right there. So let's take a look at these bad boys. Now, we saw in the past with the Age of Sigmar starter and the Storm of Sigmar starter that they came out with, that they went back to the drawing board and retooled the sprues to get those easy to assemble models in a smaller format, so that they could push them out into their small $15 boxes as well as the small starter. But we're not really seeing that with these. If I remember correctly, and I can't pull the sprues up on Games Workshop site to see the old starter set, but I remember that I think the sprue was this and Vanus both on the same sprue next to each other. So that explains why they weren't able to split this one out. Maybe they didn't figure there was enough money in it, so to speak, but it does come, of course, with the Bloodsecrator and Korghos Kul himself, the mighty Lord of Khorne. So let's zoom in on the sprue here. Well, I guess we'll hit up the instructions just to show you how these bad boys go together if you're not already aware. So the stuff on the left here is going to be Korghos Kul. Of course, he's got his little pet fleshhound kind of thing. Great styling, but remember, this is the computer slice. This is the air quotes. I don't even want to say this is easy to assemble. It's not easy to assemble. It's straight sliced three-dimensional design here. That's their, you know, hallmark for models, model character sets and things like that. And then over here's the Bloodsecrator with the dope token that opens the portal, and there's additional rules now with the brand new version of the Khorne Battle Tome that came out for these guys here. And then, of course, the styling and everything like that. The mace axe is incredible looking. All of these bits would look at home in a Khorne Space Marine army for, of course, Warhammer 40k, or, you know, you can mix and match all the bits right here. Value-wise, I feel like, yes, you're probably going to want to pick this up in the starter itself and not spend $40 for it, but maybe you just want the minis and you don't want all the other Age of Sigmar stuff, and then this one's probably for you. Here's how it goes together. Very simple. Left leg, left arm, back cape right there, and then the Fleshhound itself is a two-piece, kind of the old style, the way that we used to see kind of the horses and things assembling for fantasy. And then he's got the punch, the little Khorne punchy thingy right there that I think deflects a mortal wound on a 6 back to the opponent, and the chain right there. And then Korghos Kul, as far as his rules go, of course, he is a single model. He's got the reality splitting axe, the Akashay's Bane. You can pile in 8 inches in attack with Korghos Kul and Grizzlemaw. In addition, you can reroll all failed hits for Korghos Kul and Grizzlemaw. The axe itself, in any phase, roll a dice for each enemy model that suffered 1 or more wounds as a result of those attacks but was not slain. On a result of 5 or more, the axe cleaves a rend in the fabric of reality, hurtling the victim into Khorne's realm. So the model is therefore slain and removed from table. He is a Gore Lord. Oh, and he can port 3 Mortal Khorne units to charge. Oh, that's right. Okay. So basically, this army's built. Well, this guy's built for speed and getting things in, and then the standard itself has additional rules because he is keyword totem here. So you're gonna want to remember that you need to look up in the new Khorne Blood Warriors battle tome that there is additional rules for anybody with the totem keyword here. But his portal of skulls, you have to plant the portal. And then until the end of your next phase, you can pick these two different things here. Loathsome Sorcery, both sides reroll successful casting rolls for wizards. Doesn't really affect Khorne per se that much. And Rage of Khorne affects all Khorne units within 18. Get +1 to their attacks, which can really add up for some of those Blood Warriors and the Reaver units in and of itself. But remember, this guy is a character. He can be picked out. It isn't quite like the 40k version of the Age of Sigmar new rules, but he does have an Ensorcelled Axe, which is pretty decent in combat. 3's to hit, 3's to wound. Neg 1 rend, 1 damage is always solid. I feel like saw a solid 5 wounds right there. So he will last for a little while. But don't leave him on his own for too long. But you can definitely take multiples to try to spread out that really sweet buffer zone to get those buffs and those extra attacks on your guys, which we saw at the Age of Sigmar tournament at LVO. That was one of the top lists. There was actually a build that did that and had I think 3 of those totems, which was really cool to see. And then Vanus Hammerhands, the Dragon Cat himself, another great looking sprue. Like I said, this one was I think on the starter, came next to Korghos Kul and the Blood Secretor. This is a separate kit for $40, of course, and you can see here all the parts that go in. It's got the left and right, the dragon tail, the dragon head is 2-part, and the top and the bottom of the torso, the armor plate on the front, the maws themselves, or the paws, separate on the right hand there, and then of course Vanus and all of his accoutrement right there. Now it just so happens that I happen to be working on one of these guys on Twitch, painting him up, and a good idea for assembling him, if you don't see it on the how to paint guide or start painting guide as I grab him across the room, is to leave him in assemblies. So you can actually leave him in assembly and put a little pin in there right there, and then attach them later on, so you can do some airbrushing on the dragon's skin right here, and then do all your airbrush fades and everything on the cape if you want. I did all that separate. Everything else was painted by hand over top of a gold primer coat right there. So that was a really fun project. Super enjoyed that one. But that gives you an idea of how to get this to that point. So it just so happened that I was working on it, which was pretty neat. And then they came out with the release, and of course he is on the small cavalry base right there. All right, as far as parts go, we just broke it all down right there. It's that computer slice kind of mamma jamma. As far as his rules, I forget how many points he is. I want to say he's like 250. The whole starter for Age of Sigmar, I believe the Sigmar side, if you combine the HQs with the Sigmar guys, is up around 1,000 points with the Stormcast guys. And the Khorne one, I think, clocked in significantly lower. Like it was between 7 and 750, and that's at the old points before they redid both of those books. But when the set first came out, or when the General's Handbook first came out, we added that up, and that's what it came out to. So you could already tell it was a little underbalanced for the Khorne guys. They definitely need to be more of a horde army for sure. Alright, so Vanus moves 10. He's got 7 wounds, 3 up save, 9 bravery. Seems pretty good. Not going to worry about the bravery that much, I suppose. He does have Storm Breath, which is a fantastic ability. Pick a point on the battlefield within 12. Roll a dice for each unit, friend or foe, that is within 2 inches of that point. On a 4 or more, the unit being rolled for suffers D3 mortal wounds. I've been got by that many a times. It is not fun to be on the receiving end of that one. If the wound roll for the claws and fangs attack is 6 or more, the attack causes D6 damage rather than 1. So if you got any bonuses, remember it's very easy in Age of Sigmar to get +1 to hit. And Lord of the Hammerhands, Vanus takes part in a warrior chamber battalion. Then any units from this battalion within 24 inches do not have to take battle shock tests. So there you go, pretty cool. Not having battle shock is pretty good, though their leadership is decent. You could still lose some of these guys depending on how your battle goes. Command ability, add 1 to the attack characteristic of any melee weapons used by friendly Stormcast within 6 inches of him. Very cool. Obviously the precursor to some of the stuff we're seeing out there currently in 8th edition for Space Marine chapter master or captain or whatever abilities there. HQ, we'll just go with HQ abilities there. So not too shabby, definitely worth taking. The normal Celestins on Dracoths, you're definitely going to want to look at taking Mirror Shield. So if you just take them as a generic one, definitely make sure you get the Mirror Shield on them, because that is definitely worth its weight in, or its points in gold for sure right there. So that is pretty much it for the new Rebox releases, at least the single ones, and then we'll get to the Thunder and Blood box here in a second for you guys to check out in a separate video. Now, if you like all of our features here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to us and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on our posts, and head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.